Folks, today I'm going to be talking about in-product messaging. This is an advanced PLG or product-led growth strategy. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is and how you can use it to supercharge your growth. Let's go into it.
SaaS CMO Pro.
Hey folks, thanks for joining SaaS CMO Pro. My mission here is to educate marketers, CEOs, founders, VCs on modern SaaS marketing. I'm doing a series of videos just on product-led growth. And today we're talking about IPM or in-product messaging and why I'm such a huge fan of it. All right, so let's start off. What the heck is IPM? What are you talking about, Bill? So the background here is, as marketers, a lot of times we're tasked with educating our users, sending out content to them. We're trying to target our prospects and our customers with our ads, with our messaging, with our content. And a while back, the only way to do that was you would send these out, and it'd be on your website or it'd be in your ads, or you would do a lot of stuff, content or release notes, in your blog. And a big principle of product-led growth is that people are spending more and more of their time discovering your product, using your product, even before you buy your product, in the product itself, right? We're not all going to, all these companies' blogs and reading everything that's there, but we are spending time in the product. I mean, ask yourself, when's the last time you went to, a company used their blog and you read 5 different posts, right? It doesn't happen as much, right? But with PLG, this idea is that you're starting to get people in the product much earlier because they're doing a lot of research ahead of time. They're, a lot of times when they come to you, they're ready to try the product. And so ideally, again, you're layering in all the PLG concepts. You have a freemium, you're reducing friction, you're letting people get into that product right away. But once they're in there, how do you think about educating them and nurturing them? And that's where IPM comes in. So in product messaging is this idea of hey, once they're actually in the product, how do we have space, modules, areas where we can continue to educate and message them? And so an example here, there's some different ways you can do it, right? One way, the first way, is you will create on a login screen. Awesome opportunity there, right? If you go to a lot of login screens for AI tools or B2B SaaS tools, all they have is email and password, all right? Or maybe they have different, sign in via your Gmail or sign in different areas, but basically it's just the login functionality. And usually it's a pretty empty page. Well, hey, that's an easy area where you can create a module, right? Maybe it's a medrec, maybe it's some area there where you can, message your users, you can educate them, you can nurture them. Now, what are the types of content that you're going to use there, right? That could be everything from, hey, you have a new feature that's out that you want to educate them on. That could be, hey, you did a really cool customer testimonial that shows this amazing customer that you have and how they're using, your product and all the cool things they're doing. That could be hey, we just launched a new plan, right? We have a new enterprise plan, and hey, you might be a perfect fit for it. Maybe you put an offer in there. It could be also your content, right? A lot of times marketing teams are good at creating content, but a lot of times that content is only used for prospects, when in a lot of ways, the existing customers could get value out of it too. So for instance, a really popular piece of content we made when I was at Zendesk was the top 10 interview questions for hiring customer support agents. This is a pain point that a lot of customer support managers and directors have. Customer support is a tough space. I've done it. It's stressful, right? You have a lot of churn. You have to hire a lot of people. They're big teams, right? So, what are the right customer support interview questions, right? Oh, great. Here's 10. That's great. That worked awesome for us in a content marketing strategy where you have top of funnel, medium funnel, bottom funnel. And that helped educate. It's nice for our prospects. But you know what? Our customers loved it too. And most of them didn't see it because we had just put it on our blog. And again, people spend their time in the product. They're going to your blog as much as you'd like to think that. Maybe 3 or 5% of the people are, but not everyone is. So now, you put that on a login screen. Hey, that's a value add, right? For someone coming in, oh, that's a cool piece of content. Let me check this out real quick. That's super helpful there. Another area that you'll see, which is a great opportunity, is you actually create an in-product module and product messaging module in the product itself. So after you've logged in, you're in the product, maybe you have a small space devoted to that for education, for nurturing. And again, you can put all your content there. Maybe it's best practices. Hey, here's how to use it. You just launched this new feature. I remember that was something I was always super frustrated when at Zendesk, we would do road tours, where we'd go out and we talk with existing customers. And usually we'd have a session where, hey, here's the product roadmap. And then, hey, what would you guys like to see? What do you want? And inevitably, some someone would ask for a feature that already existed. And I remember that, like, it hurt my soul. I was like, how can we do a better job at this? And that's very common, right? Like, if you look at like your analytics, a lot of your users are only using like 1 or 2 features. You may have 50 features, but they're only using 1 or 2. Now, some of it gets back to how simple it is to use these features, which is another product-led growth tenet. But part of it too is just they might just not know about it. So how do you educate them, right? Oh, did you know we have this? Or you can do smart things too, right? Like, hey, if they're using the product in this way, let's show them these other features. Or maybe like, hey, they are super into analytics and reports. Great. Well, we just launched a new plan that gives you even more functionality there, right? Like, okay, let's expose those users, right? And you can put in controls. Like, you don't always show the same thing. You only show it once to this person. We're going to be smart about this. What's the role? What's the most appropriate content or offers or best practices or education? The idea here, though, is that a couple things. Like, one, if you're in marketing, you shouldn't just be thinking about, like, your only thing is you just worry about just getting a prospect in and filling out a lead form, go to sales, or even like getting them into the product and then you're done, right? Like, I think marketing has a much bigger role. Marketing is good at messaging, we're good at content, we're good at nurturing folks, right? And nurturing is really important because if you don't do any nurturing, that entire burden falls on the sales team. Or even if you're doing just in product, you're doing high velocity, that means that no one's doing the nurturing. It's not happening in the product. So you're not going to get good upgrade rates. You're not going to get good expansion rates, even if it's within the product. So marketing, that's something we know, right? We're really good at marketing automation. We're good at finding and creating evergreen content that can, be helpful to their users. We're good at doing product launches. We're good at doing a lot of these things, customer testimonials. But the idea is like, hey, let's take all that goodness and not just put it in a place that none of the customers see. Let's put it into the product itself. So it does take some time. We at Zendesk, we had to build this out. There was a project initiative called IPM. At Slack, we had another module, right, where we would let users know about, new functionality that's coming out. It can be really powerful, but you have to do it. And that's the thing with PLG is it's not just the product team doing stuff. It's these other teams. It's marketing and product, in this case, working together. And some of the projects that you do in your PLG are not just going to be adding new features, right? You're going to be adding like IPM functionality. You're going to be adding high velocity, the ability to like buy your product within the product, expand from within the product. It just creates all these different motions, and you kind of think about things differently when you're doing a PLG initiative. So anyways, I thought that'd be helpful when you're thinking about, just product-led growth, what are some different elements of it, and just in-product messaging or in-product education. This is an area that I found is very helpful. It kind of fits too. I think it's very customer-centric. You want to use this to help educate, prospect your customers. You want to use it to nurture them. You don't want this to be just a sales thing, right? It should not be every piece of content. It's just, hey, go buy us, buy this plan. But you want to educate them. And with your content, you want to educate them about best practices, what other cool customers are doing, new features that have been launched. There's tons of stuff that you can put in there, but you have to build it. And that's a key element of PLG is having these different, toolkits available to you so you can nurture these users through so they're going to buy faster, so they're going to invite others faster. You're going to reduce friction. You're going to be put on a great roadmap to succeed. So anyways, thanks for joining. I'd be curious, if anybody out there, have you used IPM or in-product education and product messaging before? I'd love to hear this. I read all the comments, and thanks for joining SaaS CMO Pro. Hey guys, one last thing. So if you like this video, if you want to see more of them, head on over to SaaSCMOPro.com today. That's my official website. You're going to find there my full library of videos. You can sign up, get notified, be the first to watch new videos as they drop. Next, I've had a lot of people ask me, hey Bill, what camera do you use? What microphone do you use? So I've got a full list of all the equipment that I use on the website there. I found for me that really helps improve the professionalism for a lot of these Zoom and Hangout calls that I have with my clients. It took me like 2,000 hours to research all this stuff, so you can just skip to the end, find out what equipment I used. Hopefully that's helpful. And lastly, if you are a founder or CEO and you're kind of curious, like, hey, what does a board advisor engagement looks like if you wanted to work together? Again, feel free to go to the website there, SaaSCMOPro.com. It's got all the information on how I structure those engagements as well as how to reach me. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and carpe diem.